Okay, so let's welcome guys. Let's start with a Informatica demo. So I'm Sridhar representing Vinay Tech House. So before going to start learning any technology tool or whatever it is, so we should know the complete information about what we are going to learn. So as you guys attended for Informatica demo, I'll take you through the content which helps you to understand what exactly Informatica is and what we are going to learn as part of this course and where this is going to be used in IT industry and how the career opportunities. And at the end, we will discuss about any prerequisites that are required. And then I'll give you the complete information about how the classes will go on, how much duration it will take, along with what is the content that we are going to cover. Okay. So first we'll try to understand what is Informatica. So if you type in Google, this is what you'll get. Okay. So if you type in Google, what is Informatica? So it is directly giving like Informatica is a software company. So what we learn about a company, nothing, right? So what I'm trying to say is Informatica is a company, right? So if you look at the Oracle database, so Oracle is a company and it is not having only database. It is having various other products as well, right? But still, when the database whichever we are going to learn, we call it as simply Oracle, because when Oracle started initially, it started as a database company with that product. So at that time they haven't given any separate name for that product. They simply call it as Oracle database and they give in the versions, right? In the same way, when you look at the Informatica, it is also a software development company which is based out of US. And when Informatica company started, there is a tool called Power Center. There is a tool called Power Center with which Informatica started. So that time, the IT people, started calling this as just Informatica instead of saying the like, okay, Informatica Power Center. They simply started calling it as Informatica, and the trend continued. Now you have many tools in Informatica. I mean, from Informatica company, like the example I given, right? However, we have many products from Oracle Corporation. Like earlier, we have only database. Nowadays, we have the databases we have and Oracle apps, Oracle Finance, something like there are many products. Even cloud is also there from Oracle, right? So in the same way, if you look at the Informatica also, over the time, Informatica also evolved a lot and they also developed a lot many products. Okay, so now people started distinguishing like, okay, Informatica Power Center, IDQ, okay, MDM, like many products is there, right? So as part of this course, what we are going to learn is Power Center is the tool which we are going to learn, which is developed by Informatica Corporation. Still today, Informatica Power Center is one of the famous product that is using in IT industry, and even the revenue is also, if you look at the revenue generating by Informatica Corporation, majority of the revenue is from Power Center only. So now it is very clear that now we are not going to learn Informatica. What we are going to learn is a tool called Power Center from Informatica Corporation. So now what is this Power Center? Again, if you go and ask Google, it will say that, so Power Center is simply, it's an ETL. Okay. So Informatica Power Center is an enterprise extract, transform, and load. It is simply called as ETL. And this is used in building enterprise data warehouse. Okay. So Power Center is a tool which is using to implement ETL process, and this ETL process we use to build enterprise data warehouses. So now we need to focus on understanding what is an enterprise data warehouse. Okay. So I'm keeping you guys on mute because I'm getting some noise. So any point of time, if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask me, no issues. Now, so what is data warehouse? So if you again just try to understand what is a data warehouse, this is what you will get. Data warehouse or enterprise data warehouse, just terminology difference, both represents the same, is a system used for reporting and analysis, and it is a core component of business intelligence. So what is the meaning of business intelligence? So to put it in a simple terms, business intelligence is a process of understanding past and predicting the future. Okay, so business intelligence is all about understanding the past and predicting the future. Okay, so to do that, data warehouse is going to be one of the critical component. If you look at the entire business intelligence concept, data warehouse plays a very key role. So if anybody is going to plan to implement business intelligence in their organization, so they think about data warehouse. Okay, so now Informatica is an organization. Power Center is a tool from Informatica Corporation, and Power Center is used to develop ETL process, and that helps in building data warehouse. Right? Data warehouse is part of business intelligence. So business intelligence is all about understanding the past and predicting the future. That means the business intelligence will keep you future ready. That's what to say about business intelligence in very simple terminology. And if you try to understand more about this ETL, what we do as part of ETL. So in computing, so when you look at the computer world, so extract, transform, and load is a general procedure of copying data from one or more sources into a destination system. Right? So what they're saying is, as part of ETL, what we do is we are going to copy data from one or more sources to a destination system. Okay, so just to summarize what we have seen so far, so Informatica is an organization. So Informatica is a company, and there is a tool called Power Center. This helps in implementing ETL process. So using ETL process, what we can do is we can build a data warehouse. So this data warehouse is going to help you in business intelligence. Right now, what is this ETL process means? Here what we do is copy data from multiple sources to a single destination. So we will try to understand what is the meaning of multiple sources and single destination and all those things. We will try to understand. But when you look at the flow, this is how it goes. Right? So at very high level, what you have to understand is, so the thing whichever you are going to learn now is something which is related to business intelligence. Okay, now try to understand, we'll go back to past and we'll try to understand the things that are driven IT towards establishing all these things. Okay, see, IT will develop anything when people need it, right? So you just, I'll give you a simple example. You just look at the time period, no need of going to, the decades past. You just try to understand the scenario just before the demonetization. So when Indian government, canceled this 500s and thousands. Okay. So when that time, when money demonetization happened, everybody faced a lot of issues to get the hard cash, right? So immediately IT given a solution like Paytm, Google Pay, Phone Pay, Bhim, right? All these are like digital payment methods. So no need of carrying any cash. If you just have a balance in your bank account without carrying cash, you can do all the kind of transactions, right? So when people is suffering for money, so definitely they need a solution. So IT given these solutions. Before this, the money demonetization, how many of you know about these things? Few products is not at all exist at that time, right? So that is how IT is going to bring the products or the solutions. So when people need something, according to people need, they'll implement new solutions, right? So just try to understand, what drives IT towards, implementing all these things. So I'm taking you guys to your childhood. Okay. Just try to understand. And before that, I want you guys to understand something called transaction. Okay. Why? Because this is something which we do in our day-to-day life, and this is interrelated to our next level of discussion. So if you look at a transaction, the meaning is an occasion when someone buys or sells something, or when money is exchanged, or the activity of buying or selling something, right? So we do many transactions every day. For example, if you look at the morning when you wake up, you start your day with brushing, right? So the toothbrush, toothpaste are the products manufactured by someone. You paid money and you bought it. Maybe you don't buy these things every day, but often you will buy these things. So that is a transaction. After that is done, you'll go for your bathing. So you'll use a soap, shampoo or something. So those are products you bought at some point of time. So that's also a transaction. You'll eat breakfast. To prepare breakfast, you need lot many ingredients which you purchased from grocery stores. Transactions. You'll take coffee. You need milk, sugar, coffee powder. All these things you bought out of making some transactions. So anything, let's say you're transferring 10 rupees to your friend, so that is also a transaction. So wherever you are doing something with the money involvement, that is a transaction, right? So the transactions are not started today. These are transactions is there from centuries past, right? So we cannot go to, I mean, there is no need of going to centuries back, but I'll just take you guys to your childhood days. Like when you are 5 years or 6 years old, where merely you know that what is happening and all. That time, if you see the way how business people do their the business, the day-to-day business activities. So at that time, we used to have very small shops close to our houses, and at that time we used to have very limited amount of people who is there to buy some products, right? For example, if you look at this one, okay, just a second. So for example, when you look at the way how business will happen in your childhood days, like if you go to 1990s or something, so very limited amount of people used to visit the shops for buying something, right? And at any point of time, 2-3 people or 4 people will be there, and the I mean and the products also, the range of products also is going to be very limited, right? So if people need anything, they'll go to shop. So if they need like 5-10 products, they'll write down them on a white paper and give it to the shop person. If 2-3 products is required, they'll just go and verbally say that, okay, I need this half kilo, this 1 kilo, this something like that. They used to say, okay, and whatever they ask, the shop person will give those products. And sometimes Just verbally they'll say that this is the amount and they'll pay and go. If like 5-10 products is there, on whichever paper we write down the list of products and given. So on that paper itself, with the paper with pen, they'll note down what, I mean, they'll write down what is the cost of each product, and manually they'll calculate the total, and they used to say that this is the amount, and they'll give the bill paper to you. Okay, so that is how the business used to happen. So after a certain time, what happened was the number of customers visiting the business or visiting the shop to purchase products is a little increased. Then people upgraded their shops and they used to have the calculators. Rather than manually calculating all the things, they started using calculators. But at one point of time, when the internets and these things came into picture, and when the employment got increased in India, so the purchase capability of customers is increased a lot. The purchase capability of customers got increased. So I'll give you a couple of examples for what is the meaning of purchase capability of customers increased. So when I was doing my graduation from 2007 to 2010, if any student is having a bike, a sports bike, like at that time sports bike in the sense we have only two, Apache and Pulsar. If any one guy is having one of these bikes in classroom, we look at that guy and we thought like, wow, so he's a rich guy and he's having a sports bike, this, that, and all. The same thing if you look at now, after 10 years, forget about engineering. So when people completed their 10th class and when they're about to get into intermediate, or else in some cases when they're about to get into an engineering college, the basic requirement is they need a bike or car. Right? So that means the product, whichever is a kind of status symbol 10 years back, now it became a very common requirement. And you look at the smartphone. I think I bought my first smartphone in 2014, I guess. Google Nexus. At that time, that is a kind of very high-end phone. But what about now? Right? So that is how the transformation happened over the time period. So when this purchase capability of customers increased, obviously the number of products that came into market increased, and even the purchase capability of customers increased. So which means that the number of customers visiting the business at a time is increased. Okay. Now, because of this, what happened? Now you can ask me a question. Yeah, see, what is the problem if number of customers increased? So more business will happen, right? Here is the problem. So when the number of customers is increasing, and when you're still trying to serve them in the traditional way, like the manually calculating the billing amounts, all these things, and manually packing the products and all. So this is going to take a lot of time, where sometimes customers might feel like, what is this nonsense and how much time it will take? And along with this, you have to keep another thing in mind, that when the purchase capability of customers increased and when people identified opportunities, there might be new businesses will start. So because of this, what will happen is the people, whoever is waiting at the end, who feels like, okay, it will take much longer than expected, they might shift to other business. So there are people, I mean, these people, let's say earlier they used to buy in this shop only regularly, but let's say a new shop started nearby. And when, let's say these three people went to this particular shop for the first time, and let's say if these customers satisfied with the products purchased in the shop, next time these people won't go to this shop, they directly come to this shop and purchase. So ultimately what is happening is you're losing this business is losing the customers. Definitely no business will likes to lose the customers. So then the business realized, no, this is not going to work out anymore, so we need some solution. Then these business people approached IT, saying that, see, this is what is our business and this is what we do in our business, day in and out. Now the problem is this: more number of customers is coming and we are not able to serve them, right? So then what happened was, IT said, you just relax. we will give you a solution. The solution name is OLTP systems, which means that online transaction processing systems. So what is the meaning of transaction? The activity of selling or buying or something or money transfer, anything is called as transaction. Now, these transactions are going to become online, right? So if you ask me exactly what is this OLTP system? So with the introduction of OLTP systems, computer systems entered into business. Computer systems entered into business, and these computer systems are preloaded with the required software to perform the day-to-day business operations faster and accurate. So these computer systems are preloaded with required software to perform the day-to-day business operations in a faster and accurate manner. So those are the systems that we are looking at nowadays at the supermarkets, the billing systems. Okay. If you go to movies, the movie kiosks where you directly go and collect the tickets. Okay. The online traveling, or, you know, the movie tickets or whatever you can book online, whatever the money transfers that you are doing online. Okay. All these becomes, all these are results of the OLTP systems. So the main motto of OLTP systems is providing a very simple, user-friendly service to customers. That is what is the main motto of OLTP systems. Okay. So now I'll just give you a few examples for OLTP systems and how they changed the way how we are doing our transactions before OLTPs and after OLTPs. The first one I would like to discuss is ATM machines. If you guys, majority of you have been experienced this. Earlier, if you want to, withdraw cash from your account, the only option is you have to go to bank, and there is a form called withdrawal form, and you have to fill the form and stand in line. Whenever your turn comes, at that time you have to go and get the money. So at one point of time, when government started depositing the employees' salaries into their accounts directly, earlier, at the earlier days, they used to give by hand. And when they started, depositing their salaries directly into bank accounts, usually on first of every month, salaries will come. So during first 4 or 5 days, there will be huge rush in banks because every employee wants to withdraw money for their monthly needs. So if you fill that withdrawal form and stand in line, nobody knows how much time it will take depending on the rush. It might take 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hours. It doesn't matter. You have to wait. That's it. So even bank people realized at one point of time, so this is definitely not going to be a process that works for long term, because they have to continuously serve customers and think about the person who is serving the customers. He needs to continuously calculate the cash. So then again, the ATM machines is the results of IT. So the design a software saying that, see, you design a hardware, we will give you a software which will do the exact process or the exact work that what a person is doing in your bank, and keep these machines at multiple places and ask customers to go and withdraw cash from those machines instead of visiting your branch. In that way, ATM machines came into picture, and now see how the life is. So when you're just going outside happily, you'll go and withdraw from any ATM which is nearby. Of course, even after this, the digital payment methods came into picture, like the Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, all these things. ATM machines usage also reduced a lot, and many banks is reducing their ATM machines because customers find out a better process to perform their day-to-day transactions, like whatever they are doing in ATM machines. For example, let's say if I need to give some, let's say 10,000 to my friend. If I'm going to ATM, what I need to do? I need to go to ATM, withdraw 10,000. I need to go to my friend's house, or else I need to ask him to come to my house and I need to give him the 10,000. Again, he needs to go and deposit the 10,000 in his bank account, because majority of the people don't like to carry hard cash, right? So instead of that, what I'll do is I'll open Google Pay. I'll just transfer 10,000 to my friend. They directly go to his bank account, and no need of going to ATM, and my friend no need to go to bank. So lot many advantages. So people is shifting to, started using these digital payments a lot nowadays. Second one, card payments. So earlier, if you want to do any major shopping, like any marriage or any occasion is there, if you want to do a major shopping for like 5 lakh, 10 lakhs or so, you need to carry the cash, which is not as safe for, which is not safe at all, right? So then people started, giving these machines to the merchants, where they said like, so you just ask the customers to swipe the card for whatever amount they purchased. That amount will directly go to your account. So customers feel happy and secure, right? So that is another example. The best example, look at the travel thing. I just given a road travel example here. Just look at the train or air travel also nowadays. If you want to fly somewhere, just open GoIBibo or any app which supports air travel ticketing. Just on fingertips, book your flight and just go to airport and get into it. And look at the Indian Railways. During my childhood days, I remember the train ticket is a brown color, small rectangular box kind of ticket. So that you have to go to railway station and you have to take it up. And you want to travel to any long distances using reservation, again, you need to go to railway station, fill the form, take the ticket. So that time there is no computer at all. It's all manual. If you lost your ticket, gone. Nobody knows that you are going to travel. The ticket collector is not going to allow you into the train. After that, they started giving computerized tickets in railway stations itself. After that, they started reservation counters in multiple places of major cities. Then they started IRCTC website way longer from where they started using computers. Then they developed IRCTC app. See how things got changed. Now, for example, I am traveling today to my hometown. So what I have done yesterday, I just opened IRCTC app and I booked the tickets and done. So after your class is over, I'll just go and get into the train. And look at the supermarket billing systems. So you'll just take the products in full of basket and you'll go to billing counter. They will just scan them quickly and one person is parallelly packing your items, and within a minute, ma'am, this is your total amount, or sir, this is your total amount. So this is how the OLTP is changed, the way we are doing business. Now at a front end, as a customer, when we are looking at these things, we feel very, very comfortable and happy. But at the back end, the OLTP systems which we are using is not so simple. So this is what we see as a customer. The screen, that's it. It might be a web page, or it might be a computer screen, or it might be your smartphone screen. You'll see just the front end. But at the back end, believe me, whatever the transactions you are going to do, everything is going to be saved. Look at the banking transactions. Majority of you might be experienced whenever you feel, whenever you have done any transaction. Sometimes, let's the ticket booking and all, you'll get a message that payment failed, but amount is going to be deducted from your bank account at that time. Later, they are going to revert it back, right? They reversed my amount or not when I purchased the product, or when I booked the ticket. When the the merchant reversed my amount for the failure transaction, or let's say at the beginning of the month, let's say you're getting 50,000 as a salary into your account, and at the end of the month you can take your bank statement and you can see like how much I'm spending on what kind of activities, right? So why this is required? This is required for customer as well as for business also. This is very important information. I'll tell you guys. First, I'll give you 2-3 examples, like how storing OLTP, that means the transactions data in a OLTP database, is how important. and how it is going to benefit customer, and also I will talk about how it is going to benefit business owner as well. See, for example, you've done a transaction and there is some mess happened with that. And if you want to understand what happened exactly, so then you will go to the bank. Let's say a payment failed, but amount is not reverted. Like you waited for 1 week or 10 days. Ideally, it should be reverted within 1 week, but it is 10 days, but still it was not happened. If that information is stored somewhere, excuse me, then only you can go to the bank and you will ask them, see, I did this transaction. I received a message also like the payment is failed, but amount is debited, but it is not yet reverted. So may I know the reason? If you have that information in hand, then only you can ask them. Otherwise, they'll ask a question, what is the guarantee that you did it? Right? This is one example. Second, let's say we went for shopping and we purchased a product, right? They'll give you a bill when you paid the amount, and we'll take the bill and come back. Maybe after coming home, you found that the product is having some damage. Now, if you go to the shop and if you ask them, boss, yesterday I purchased this product in your shop, but I found that this product is having some damage. So I need a replacement or else a refund. The first question they will ask you is, do you have the bill? Right? The reason they will ask you for the bill is, what is the guarantee that you purchased that product in that store itself? Maybe you purchased it somewhere else and you came here and you are trying to mess with those people, right? So when you given the bill, each bill is going to have an unique transaction ID. And with the transaction ID, they can verify in the OLTP database whether you purchased that product in that store or not. If the transaction ID is matched, automatically it will display the details. Yes, this was done here. I mean, this was purchased here and so date at so time, right? So that is how this OLTP, storing OLTP transactions information is going to help the customer. Or else, let's say, for example, take my case, I'm going to travel now. So my train is at 12:30. So I booked a ticket yesterday and I received a message saying that, yeah, you booked a ticket from here to here and your travel date is this, train is this, and your seating information and all. By mistake, I deleted that message. By mistake, I deleted that message. Now what is my scenario? I don't remember my coach information. I don't remember my seat information, nothing. What should I do now? I will just log into my IRCTC account and I could see all my past bookings information. And one thing you observe, if you are having IRCTC account from years back, if you log in and see your ticket booking information, you can see a very recent information, but not from the starting onwards. So here I would like to mention you one point that OLTP systems will always store limited amount of data. They don't store all the information from the beginning. Okay. Now, when you look at any OLTP system, so it contains a front-end application, so which helps us to do the transactions in a user-friendly manner, a backend database where all the transaction information is going to be stored. Now, this information is going to help business also. How this is going to help business? I will ask you a simple question. Forget about 2021 and 19. But before that, if you look at the scenario, like when you look at the major festivals like Pongal and Diwali, Christmas kind of festivals, majority of the people will travel. And at the time, if you observe even Indian Railways and the respective state bus corporations will announce that, okay, we are running special trains or special buses from between these destinations, these many number of trains or these many number of buses, something like that they will announce. Now, have you ever thought like, okay, how they will come and commit on a number on the number of trains that needs to be run between these two stations, right? So they don't randomly say that, okay, these are the number of trains between these two stations. They look at the last 5 or 10 years of data. How many passengers traveled between this station to this station? That means if you look at two stations, A and B, so how many traveled from A and B on just before 1 week the festival, and how many traveled from B to A after 1 week from the festival, And based on that information, they'll see, let's say, if you take last 10 years from 2011 to 2020, how the graph is increased. And they'll take an average of it. Okay, so as per that, this year, maybe these many number of passengers will travel. So to serve those many number of passengers, maybe we need these many number of trains. That is how they will come to a conclusion. Okay, so that is what is nothing but business intelligence. Based on the past data, we are going to do some analysis and will predict the future and will make the arrangements. Okay, now, so OLTPs came, business happy because they're able to serve more number of customers within very less time. Even customers also happy because they're getting service very fast, and accuracy is there. If any issue is there, they can go and happily, show the proof, and they can ask for any justification if required. Now, after a certain period, what happened was, because of the internet and globalization, the boundaries was gone. Anybody can do business anywhere across the globe, right? So even many of you might be using foreign brands nowadays, right? So on the same line, if you look at one business person, so he initially started a business in India. So when anybody started a business, nowadays it becomes very common. First, they are getting their OLTP system ready. So in India, to store the data of the transactions, he is using Oracle database, and the transaction in India will go in rupees, right? And after a certain time, he feels like, okay, my business is running very good and it's time to expand the business. So he started in US, but in US, what he has done is using SQL Server database for OLTP transactions. And of course, in US, the business happens in dollars. And after a certain time, he jumped to UK. There, he is using DB2 database for OLTP data, and the business is going to happen in pounds, obviously. Now, he expanded the business and business is going fine. But at a certain point of time, this business owner thought of these things. What is the total sales happening in my business? And I'm offering so many products to customers. So what are the top 3 profitable products? And when you look at the business, all products never been in profit. So what are the top 3 products which is producing loss? Because business is all about that only, right? So you need to continuously work on what is happening in your business. And when you feel like something is not going to work out, so you have to, stop production of that particular, products. I'll give you a simple example. Tata Nano started with, huge expectations, and it was called as a dream project of Ratan Tata, of offering, a car for middle class people at the two-wheeler cost. It started, it stopped already, right? Because so they expected something, so they predicted something, but it was not went in right way. And unfortunately, they found that, okay, the expenses that we are spending on this particular product is not giving any returns. So better to stop it, because without having any benefits, there is no need of doing business. So they stopped the product. So these kind of things will happen with some, analysis. They do some analysis and they'll predict, okay, let's say if they see any hope, okay, if we continue this for next 2 years, then we'll get into profits and all, they'll continue. But when they found like, okay, there is no way to get profits, then they'll definitely decommission the products, and they'll start focusing on some other products to get more profit. Okay, so when this guy got these questions in mind, so he is not able to get answers, because now the data is spread across different storage systems. I mean to say, portion of data is there in Oracle, portion of data is there in SQL Server, portion of data is there in DB2. And the currencies is also different. So he's not able to do proper analysis. Then again, he went to IT. Guys, earlier I got a problem and you given computer systems, which made my life so easy. Now again, I'm having a similar problem, like where I'm not able to understand what is happening in my business. Then IT said, okay, no worries. So that time the problem is different and we given you a solution. Now the problem is different, so we'll give you a different solution. That is data warehouse. Now your problem is there in different systems, different formats and all. So what we do is we'll bring everything into one large system, and your OLTPs always store limited amount of data, but we will design the new systems in a way where you can store huge amount of historical data also. So this historical data is going to help you to understand what happened in future, and that information is going to help you to predict what will happen in future. Right? So history will help you to understand what happened in past, and with that experience you can plan for future. Okay, and to build this new database, this is, see, data warehouse is also going to be a database. This is, don't imagine that this is something some magical object that we are going to create. This is just a database. But how it is different from this operational, I mean OLTP systems is, first thing, this is going to store huge amount of data, that is historical data, and this also going to have data in a different format that is going to be very easy for business people to perform analysis. That means we will pre-process the data before loading into data warehouse based on what customer is expecting. So the customer, in the sense, the business owner, is expecting out of the data present in data warehouse. So this new database, which is building for analysis purpose, we are going to call it as a data warehouse. So how it was named warehouse, in the sense it's a storage place where you can store huge amount of objects. Here also we are going to store huge amount of data. That's why it is termed as data warehouse. Now this is what the definition that we have seen in second slide. ETL is the process of collecting data from multiple sources. That means in a business you can see 5, 10, 20, 30 OLTP systems also. There is no limitation. So from all these OLTPs, we are going to take data into data warehouse. So the OLTPs is providing data, so we used to call them as sources. Data warehouse is going to accept the data. So that means the journey of data is going to end up with the data warehouse. So that is why we call it as a destination. And to perform this, that means to bring the data from all these OLTPs to the data warehouse, we implement ETL process: extract, transform, and load. That means extract, in the sense we will take data from OLTPs, transform, in the sense we will modify the data as per business requirements, and we'll finally keep the modified data into data warehouse. Any questions here?
No.
Cool. So this data warehouse is not limited to any particular business. So from small scale to large scale organizations, we are having this data warehouse concept, and we are implementing this ETLs everywhere. Now, to simplify this, so whenever business wants to do some analysis to understand what is happening in their business, they need data warehouse. To implement data warehouse, we have to implement ETL process. To implement ETL process, we need ETL tool, because we cannot do that process manually. And one of the best leading ETL tool in the market is Informatica. Now you might ask a question, so how can you say that Informatica is the leading ETL tool? You are the Informatica faculty, so that's why you're highlighting your tool. No, I'll show you a proof now. So I'll ask you one of you guys a question, simple question. So with whom I can go? Let's go with Amir Riaz. Now Riaz, let's say you want to buy a car.
Mm-hmm.
So first what you'll do is you'll decide a budget, right?
Right.
Then let's say there is a car showroom beside your home. So where car is available in your budget, you'll just directly go and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So what you'll do?
No, first of all, I will go and take the help of the internet.
Excellent. So now what Riaz will do is, first he'll find out what are the various cars available in my budget, right?
Right.
Now, in that, again, he'll go and start looking at the customer reviews, whoever already purchased and using this product.
Right.
Right. And also he'll look at the features also, like how much mileage it is giving and what is the maintenance cost. All these things also he'll consider. And finally, he will arrive at a particular vehicle. Okay, so this is going to be the best for me. And then he'll go and purchase the vehicle, right?
Right.
In the same way, when you look at the IT companies, let's say if a company is thinking about building a data warehouse, they just don't go on blindly, you know, okay, take Oracle database and some ETL tool and do it. No. So they'll see what is the data volumes that we are going to process. Okay. And what is the kind of source systems that we're having? That means from how many different systems we need to get the data. And what is our budget? So all these things they will consider. And then they'll see what is the best ETL product available in the market. So, however, let's say if you look at the car you want to buy, so we will go and see the websites like cardeco.com or something, right? In the same way, or cars24, like we have multiple sites. So the similar way, when you look at the software products reviews, we have something called Gartner. So I'll show you that. Gartner Inc. Yeah. See, IT service management company. So this is again a kind of very good IT company. So, but what it will do is, see, Gartner Inc., officially known as Gartner, is a global research and advisory firm. So what they'll do is research and advisory. That means research in a sense, for example, when you look at a particular product, you'll have many products from different vendors. Let's say you take database. You have database like Oracle, SQL Server, Teradata, MySQL, okay, DB2, Greenplum, Netezza, Vertica, PostgreSQL. So like many products is there. Out of that, which is the best database? You cannot say that, right? Again, you need to spend a lot of efforts on that to understand. Reporting tools you look at, you have MSBI, Cognos, Power BI, Talend, Tableau. So all these are reporting tools. So now which tool I need to select? Again, you need to do lots of research on that, right? So, but here, what Gartners will do is, it will take each, the products belongs to a particular line of business. They'll do research on that and they publish something called Gartner Magic Quadrant. Gartner Magic Quadrant. So it is going to contain 4 areas like leaders, challengers, niche players, and visionaries. Niche players in the sense they just started. Visionaries in the sense they started quite some time back, and in future they are expecting growth. Challengers in the sense, yeah, they are playing good, but still there are things to improve. Leaders in the sense they are already doing outstanding. So this particular report belongs to the year 2020. So 2021, I'm not sure whether it is already released or not. So if you see this, Informatica positioned as a leader, right? And this is for data integration. That means your ETL. Gartner Magic Quadrant for data integration tools. So this is not just 1 year. You can go to Google and you can type like Gartner Magic Quadrant for data integration tools 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, something like that. From past 15 or 16 years around, continuously it is there in #1 position. Right? So this is this is a kind of reference to say that yes, Informatica is the best available tool in the market. Okay, so if you want, you can go to Gartner's and you can read all these things like why it is great and all these things. If you just visit Gartner website, you can find out all these things. Okay, next. And also how they will give these rankings and everything you can understand. Next, if you see, do you need any prerequisites? Not really, because it's new for everyone. But if you have some little SQL knowledge, it is going to be an advantage. So other than that, there is no much prerequisites required. So if you ask me a question, I don't know SQL, then what I should do? I'll answer this question in a couple of minutes. And what we are going to provide, like this is common things that many will provide it anyways, but yeah, so we'll give the training from very basic level to advanced, and then we'll give you soft copy of the material as it is online. We'll give you entry questions like around 400 plus questions, which helps you to both, it includes the theoretical and hands-on questions, which helps you to understand Informatica well and to perform best in interviews. And we'll give Unix basics. I'll tell you why Unix basics is required. Then resume preparation. So apart from this, we'll give you, it is not included here. Apart from what we'll give you is, we'll give you software. Okay, which is the latest version 10. Informatica 10 software will give you to install in your local machines, and I'll help you to do the installation as well. Okay, so you'll be ready to do your practicals on your own in your machine if you have the software installed. Okay, so this is what I just want to cover. And apart from this, a few more points I would like to cover. So I'll just finish in 2 minutes. Okay, so apart from this, if you look at the classes, so the classes is going to happen from Monday to Friday. Okay, the classes is going to happen from Monday to Friday. Duration is going to be 1 hour. Okay, and Saturday this is going to be 2 hours, and Sunday there is no class at all. So you can practice, or you feel like, okay, it's a break for relaxation or whatever you feel, you can do that. And first Saturday, so whenever your classes is going to start, that means once your batches is confirmed, okay, the first Saturday you are going to have 2 hours of SQL class. So this is going to help you to understand all the basics required to go with Informatica. Okay, and last Saturday I will cover again 2 hours of session. I will discuss about Unix basics. Okay, so in the next demo I'll discuss about these things, like why Unix basics is also required for us. Okay, and the duration is going to be around 45 hours. And after this, I'll take another 10-hour session for a real-time project to explain how the real-time environment will be and how you need to manage yourself when you get into a project. And I'll give you some set of data where you have to do a hands-on real-time implementation, like how testing needs to be done. So all those things I will completely on real-time orientation. I'll take another 10 hours of session for real-time project. So this is pretty much I'm going to cover. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask now. I'm open for questions.